PAT Louisiana's finest. I say, who that? R.I.P. Tom Benson. Shout out to the whole Who That Nation. Now who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. Oh, who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. I say who that? That fever, that flavor, that funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. You got that fever? Yeah, yeah, that fever for the flavor. Got that flavor? Yeah, yeah, that flavor for the funk. I got that fever, my people. See, we not equal, my people. I'm like that dog Saint underneath the steeple, my people. Got Drew Brees, he the feature, and our defense the sequel. The D-line and linebackers, man, they coming to reach ya. Make enemies some believers, cause we overachievers. DBs see 50-50 balls and we call them keepers. Y'all can follow this leader, cause Sean Payton will teach ya.
Saints Talk listeners, what's up? We back for another episode of Saints Talk. I'm your host, Kevin Washington. I'm here with Nick, as always. Nick, how you doing? And say what you got to say to the folks.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. How you doing? Happy to see you. Happy to see everybody here that's watching. Everybody that's going to be watching and listening soon. Happy to have you. But how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good. I am feeling refreshed from the break, and that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. You know, I got my old house I'm living in. I've been in here forever. I'm just hoping something new pop up at some point. But you know, everybody is, we got to stay in our lane. This old house.
Come on, man. All right, so
I need my taxes done. I don't know. I'm paying too much. The federal government's killing me. I can't buy a new house because these freaking taxes are driving me nuts.
You know what you should do? You should call Sant CPA. Are you a new business owner or just a regular person needing some guidance with your daily accounting? Sant CPA can help you get your finances in order. They provide relevant accounting information, detailed analysis, and clear communication in a timely manner. Call today, 318-321-2765, or visit them at santcpa.com. That number and phone number are in the show notes. And then, as always, hit up our guys on Veterans Boulevard, the Firehouse location. They make the best firehouse subs. They do a lot of stuff for the community. They give back. They look out. True difference makers in the community. So hit them up. And lastly, check out our friends at busr.com. busr.com is a premium online gaming site that offers sports, casinos, and horses where you can enjoy custom features such as building your own bets with their prop builder, getting on every aspect of the sport with live betting, low wagering requirements, fast payouts, and premium bonuses. It's $10 free right now for signing up. No deposit required. Sign up and get $10 free with the promo code THANKS21. This is for new accounts only. Sign up at busr.com/NewOrleans. Make sure you do the /New Orleans thing so they know we sent you and they keep showing us love here. So do that. That's all in the show notes, all in the YouTube description. So hit them up, place your bets, gamble, and eat us up.
Yep. So I got to figure it out.
Get your taxes done.
I got to figure it out. So I'm going to go to bed, spend all my money. Then I'm going to be hungry. So on the way back, I'm going to hit up Firehouse Subs, and then I'm going to realize that I spent too much, and I got to write something off. So I'm hollering my goddamn cent.
Professional gambler, maybe you can write off that meal. Yeah, because you're eating at work. Yes.
You get it. There you go. I mean, listen, guys, we this is free game right here, by the way. Like, you just got to show up, subscribe to NewOrleans.Football, and we pay for it. We pay for ourselves.
There you go.
All right. Thank you guys for showing up. Shout out to Chad. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, we're here to talk football. I'm excited. I got a little energy this week. Like I said, I'm refreshed. Next week, dolo Kevin. But tonight, we rocking out. So the Saints got the Cowboys, and they played Thursday. So this is back-to-back Thursday games. The Thanksgiving game was, it went. They took that's probably one of the worst losses that I've seen them take in a while. And it's understood with the state of the team, right? When you look at the injuries, the guys who are available, It's just at this point, it kind of feels like you're watching. I was joking with some friends today. I was like, man, this Conference USA football at some point, right? It's just really hard to watch. So, so first thing coming into this game, who's going to be the quarterback?
It's going to be Taysom. I'm pretty confident it's going to be Taysom. I mean, Sean basically said it today, even though he was trying not to.
Yeah.
It's just about the health of that foot, as we said on the post game pod and in the article that went on the site after the game. He's dealing with plantar fasciitis. Sign up and you'll have the inside scoop before
There you
other
go.
people.
I'm just saying.
Some gems just go on the site and on the members only. But so he's been dealing with that, and I think he's at a place now where it's more manageable, and I expect to see him as a starter. And I'm interested to see it, man. I think that there's multiple fronts here. Number one, just I think that there's a chance that maybe he gives them a little bit of a shot of life that they haven't had, and if he doesn't, it's worth finding out if he can, because it's just been a little bit too stagnant the last few games. And I don't put that all on Trevor. The first couple of games, I think there was a lot of drop passes and things that kind of led to the stagnation of the offense. But as time went on, I think he just kind of revealed himself for who he is, and defense has started playing him a little bit more effectively. So
no prevent.
Yeah,
defense.
I'm interested to see what Taysom. I'm curious to see what Taysom can do if he can turn the tides, get them started earlier, get a drive going in the first quarter. Just something has to change, something has to give. And two, not just for the team, but for him, I think that it's important to get him in a situation where once and for all, is he a quarterback or is he a tight end?
Or a halfback, or fullback,
whatever it is,
or
a quarterback
slot
or
receiver.
something else, a quarterback
or
else.
other.
Yeah, those things can sort themselves out later. But the quarterback part of the equation, I think for him, I think for them, just figuring out what he is, put him out there, see what he does in this window, see if it's any different from last year, see if it changes perspectives, and now you can move forward at peace, knowing one way or another what he is.
Yes. That's. I think he thinks of himself as a quarterback, right? And I think he said as much during the Bills game. I forget who he had. I think it was Lisa Salters was speaking to him about his newest contract, and she was saying like how, that's the kind of position that he sees himself as. I don't think he's going to have a bigger opportunity than he has right now, right? When you look last year at Taysom, he was preparing as a non-quarterback all year. And then when Drew got hurt, then he came in as a quarterback, understandably. But this offseason, and listen, he spent some weeks where he did some other things because Jameis was the starter. All offseason, you prepared as a quarterback, right? You changed your body. You worked on your mechanics. You worked on all these different aspects to play the position that you basically are going to get to play for the remainder of the year if everything goes right. So, I mean, look, it's not ideal. The team is lacking in talent in a lot of areas. They're lacking in health in more areas. In health, I guess they kind of run hand in hand because I think this is a talented team. I don't think this is a bad team. I think this is not a bad roster. It's probably a bad team, right? If that's one way to put it. But this is an opportunity for him, right? And so he gets to answer this question to himself. And if he doesn't perform here, then he really can't point the finger at lack of opportunity. He can't point the finger at anyone but himself, because now he has the chance to go out and show. So if the Saints saying, hey, look, we think you're a tight end, we put some stuff in his contract for you to have the option to make some quarterback type money. Well, now you got, the Saints are 5-6. And so you got a few games now to kind of show what you can do at this position. And listen, if he's outstanding, then he's your quarterback going forward. If he's not, then he's your tight end going forward, or your slot receiver, or your halfback. So I'm rooting for him because, this is something that he seems passionate about. And, I just think it would be, I'm really interested to see if he provides like any spark to this offense, if he can, generate some explosive plays, generate some offense, and just kind of change what we've been seeing from this team over the last few weeks.
I asked him about the incentives in the contract today, and he just basically said that it was protecting against, all scenarios, which, obviously is right. And if they force him not force him, but if he ends up in a spot where he is the starting quarterback, and it's like we were saying before, you gotta make sure that there's that upside there, and you don't feel like there's a chance that you can be taken advantage of, and you just got to cover all contingencies in these deals. But yeah, I mean, I think he's always going to see him. He's been a quarterback his whole life, man. He's always going to see himself
That's true.
as a quarterback. I remember like asking Julian Edelman about that like years later into his career as a successful wide receiver, and there's a piece of him that's it's just a quarterback. It's inside of him, and that's what he believes he is.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's something that's probably not just going to go away out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's fair. So with him, being a quarterback, do you think there is any meaningful change, right? And like, because we know there's going to be some more, maybe some quarterback power. There's going to be some things that we've seen Taysom do. I feel like I'm asking the question I already know the answer to, but I think it's a good question to at least address. Like, is there a set of plays just based from your time at training camp? And training camp, they hide stuff. They don't want people reporting on XYZ and other teams, etc. We know how secret especially Sean Payton can be. Do you think there's a set of plays that has his name written on it that doesn't have anyone else name written on it? Do you think that, all right, these are Taysom plays. We have these running plays that only Taysom can run. Do we have like these, zone read option plays, et cetera, more run pass option packages? Basically, what we kind of saw from Buffalo and Philly, right? The read option kind of got at the Saints a little bit. And so just, is there a package of plays that exists that is only for Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I mean, we see it obviously. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that he does, just as far as the running stuff and all that. But I mean, even just in the passing game, like 14% of his passes last year were on design rollouts, and you don't see Trevor Siemian, Drew Brees, Jameis Winston like just at that number. Winston was a little bit higher, but pistol plays, 3% of his passing plays last year were out of pistol formations, and you just don't see that stuff with other people. So, it's a different approach. Some of their passing concepts were a little bit more simplified last year with him compared to Breeze. I think you saw some of that with Jameis, just some of the 2-man route concepts and things like that, kind of setting up shot plays and, either or scenarios on passes down the field. So, yeah, I mean, yes, there are a package of plays that are Taysom plays, and
it's not like they're all pass plays.
Well, some of them are, but no, I mean the running stuff's just so obvious. So it's kind of jumping into the other.
I mean, like,
of it.
I mean, like, so good answer. Follow-up question: is there any run schemes that we haven't seen that's going to manifest itself now that Taysom?
You
is
mean
the
like
quarterback?
ever?
Just right now, this week, next week, anytime. Like, I want to see.
No. I mean, you're asking like things we've never seen ever. Period.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say ever because that's a strong word, but like, hey, like, are they going to expand the run game? Are they going to do more? I mean, I always talk about like more motion, more like design, like, because the run game to me, the Saints run game to me, it's pretty straightforward, right? I mean, now they do things, they pull, they run a few different schemes, they run zone, etc. Right? They run all the different run schemes, but on the surface of it, you don't look at it and say this is a hard scheme to prepare for. Now, when the players are playing good and they're run blocking, it's a hard group of players to block against, right? But when I look at the Saints schematically against the run, I don't think, wow, okay, your eyes are going to get out of place. Like, say when you're playing, like we just played Philly, right? Philly, I mean, I remember, I forget who was that on the edge, but they didn't know if Hurts was going to keep the ball, if he was going to run with it, right? Just those type of plays that we just haven't seen because Drew's been the quarterback. Jameis is not that type of guy.
I
But
mean,
now
they run some read option in that. I mean, they do that stuff with Taysom, and they have before. So it's getting some of it. It's just I don't know that they've always executed it as well as Jalen Hurts does. I think that there's maybe an element of just even selling those plays a little bit better and just maybe more patience in the quarterback and making the read and holding it a little bit longer and making the edge commit in a way that maybe a guy that's hurrying through that a little bit more doesn't get. So I don't think you're going to see anything drastically different that we've never seen before over the, what has it been, 4 years of, Taysom Hill. I think we've gotten doses of probably just about everything.
4 years? Wow.
2018, I guess.
Man,
probably.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So man. Wow.
So yeah, I don't think there's going to be like a huge unveiling, anything new,
change.
especially if for some reason Alvin can't play in this game, maybe you don't get the same looks, and maybe you aren't as deep into it as you are with if Ingram's the only back or the lead back or something like that. So yeah, I just don't think that it's going to be. I don't think you're going to pull up a curtain this week and see something completely different.
Yeah. Holy crap! Where this offense come from?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So give us a refresher on what type of quarterback Taysom was last year in the few starts that he had. Like, what do you remember for him maybe that stood out, and what's some of the things you thought that maybe he needed to work on? And I got a follow-up question for that too. But yeah, like what kind of quarterback is he?
Up and down.
Come on.
I don't know what you're asking me to say, man.
I mean, what does he do good? Like, what was his strengths? Like, was he accurate? Did he throw a deep ball?
When he saw things quickly, it was good. When things presented itself quickly, it looked good. He can make a fast decision when one or two's there. When he gets a little bit deeper into things, I think that's where you start to get into trouble. And that
does he linger in the pocket when the 1 and 2 is not there? Or?
Too long. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he needs a run. He needs to tuck it and run. That's the biggest issue with him. As far as being a quarterback, and that's the difference between him and Jameis. Jameis has that. Jameis has much.
He's a better.
I hate talking about these guys and comparing them because somebody's always mad about it, and it's not like a personal comparison. It's just we cover the team. But Jameis has better instincts. He's displayed better instincts. Maybe Taysom getting another chance to be in there. It'd been a lot of years since he started a game. It'd been a lot of years since he had played quarterback last year. Maybe getting in there, getting the experience, brings him out, and he does things a little bit differently. Maybe he has a little bit better feel for the pocket, how to protect the football, to win the run, all that stuff. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's improved. And I think that's why it's important for him to get the second window, a second chance, to kind of have that rehearsal and show people, hey, the bad stuff for me last year wasn't me, or hey, it is, and now I'm going to go focus on this stuff this offseason. That's why this is so important to me, and it's almost beneficial the way let me rephrase that. Like it's horrible that Jameis got injured, and I think that they'd be in a much better position with him. They might be in first place in the South right now, honestly.
Yeah, without injuries, and
they beat Tennessee, they beat Atlanta with him.
They beat Philly. I think they beat Philly.
No, I don't think they beat Philly. I don't think they win the last two. I mean, realistically, Philly, man, they had no answers for them on defense. It probably would have been a tough game, and there were so many guys injured. I just don't know if anybody could have succeeded. I don't know if they beat the Bucs with him or not. Simeon did some things. To keep them in that game.
The defense did too, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did too.
Simeon tried to give it away too.
He tried to give the ball away a couple
times. He got lucky.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think they win at least two more. It's horrible you got hurt, but I think if there is like a underneath to this, it's just a finding out what this guy is, and I think we know what he is, but maybe he isn't.
Maybe we don't. Yeah. And my point about I was talking about injured guys, not just Jameis. Just if the team hadn't hit every injury in every position.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, I think they would be people talking about the Saints as like one of the top seeds in the
Dude, I've gotten so much heat for just talking about they lost these games because these players were hurt. I wrote it and so many people got mad at me. Look, Sean Payton can say injuries don't matter. Cam Jordan can stand up there and say that we needed to score 21 points on turnovers directly with the offense touching the ball. Like they can say all this stuff, but like,
yeah, come on. Your defense.
We don't play. We don't play for the team, so we can talk about the injuries.
We don't have to lie.
Yeah, when you're without so many people, it's just logical. It's like if you were going to the hospital and you needed brain surgery, and they're like, you know what, the brain surgeon's out and the orthopedic surgeon's out, but we have this family doctor here who took a couple classes, so he can come in and do your brain surgery. And you're like, yeah, next man up, he's going to get it done. Like, come on, man. Like at some point, it's illogical. And if you're missing everything at a certain point, like it just becomes hard to expect the team to win games. And
yeah, I think it's pretty. I mean, you got to have like a really interesting philosophy on football.
Well, your philosophy is basically when quarterback 1, running back 1, running back 2, wide receiver 1, tight end 1,
Left
right
tackle, right
1,
tackle.
left guard 1, fullback 1. When all these guys are injured and you're like, you know what, they should still score 30 points a game. You're basically saying they can
Positions
just
don't
sign
matter.
league minimum players across the board and win games because
Yeah.
players and talent does not matter. Like
Yeah,
it does.
that's the philosophy that I would think you would have to hold that opinion.
Yeah.
I disagree with that philosophy
Yeah. You should be
wholeheartedly.
able to overcome some. But
Like
like at a certain point when you get to 7, 8 guys that are
you can't just say talent
starters,
doesn't matter in the
yeah.
NFL. Like
Yeah.
you just can't. I don't care who is coaching. Sean Payton's a hell of a coach, but he ain't he ain't gonna coach a bunch of me's out there and win a game. You got to have guys that are NFL
Yep.
level talent players who can, like guys are third stringers for a reason, right?
Now what we can say is that they should have built their depth better on offense.
I think that's true, but I don't know what type
Well,
of depth.
they don't have one wide they don't
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
the wide
Wide
receivers.
receiver depth,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. But
Yeah.
when you look at what happened to the offensive line, the running back,
yeah.
I mean, Tony Jones, Mark Ingram, and Kamara got hurt. Like you're 1, 2, and 3. You had your quarterback, or you had a few I mean, I do agree. Like your depth. I think the
QB1
depth.
and QB2 hurt.
There you go. There you go.
mean-
Exactly. Now you're starting QB3, right? And so, like, yes, better depth. I think better depth in your skill position players, absolutely. They deserve to be all the criticism they get this year based on who they put out there at tight end and wide receiver. Hey man, fair game, right? It was probably cocky is probably the word I would or maybe just lack of resources. I don't know, but that wasn't the group. But the other positions, I can't really hurt them. I can't really kill them for that because like it was just a devastating amount of injuries coming. Like your offensive line. I mean, last week it was Landon Young, left tackle, Hurst at right tackle, Throckmorton at guard, and Ruiz, who sometimes whatever, and then McCoy, right? And so you have one above average player on that line when you started the season with a top 5 O-line. So yeah, I definitely think depth hurt him at some positions, but in some cases it's just bad luck. And
I was told I was making excuses for him, but no, I mean, like I don't think. I mean, I just think I think it's a stupid way to talk about it.
I would
Man,
say
honestly,
stupid. I was gonna finish the word for you. Yeah,
it's not making excuses for the team. If I say Tennessee's losing games because they lost Derrick Henry and some skill position players, that's just what happened. That's not
Running back
making an
1,
excuse for them. I'm not
wide receiver
saying
1,
it's
wide
okay
receiver
that they
2.
lost. I'm just saying this is why they lost, and it makes sense why they lost. And I'm just not going to take a loss to the Bills with all these guys out and say, you know what, this is I'm going to prognosticate. I'm going to forecast the future from this spot. No, I'm not going to do that because so many guys are out. That is not the game you use to say this is the direction of the New Orleans Saints franchise. That's just not where you do it from. This season, they don't ever get healthy, sure, but like that doesn't. Thursday's game doesn't tell me anything about the Thursday night game in 2022. It just doesn't. Like that isn't where I'm looking to say, here's where the team's going. This is what they are. It's just not. Like I'm not judging them on QB3, running back 3. It's just not what I'm going to do. I just think that's illogical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I saw those type of comments, I would just, fundamental opposite end of the spectrum on how we see things and, have a nice day, moving on with my life. But man, I feel like I'm just like grilling you on this guy. Well, one final question. You was kind of touching on it. Like, what did you see anything that stood out that Taysom got better at from last year to training camp? Because I know he struggled, like maybe with throwing the ball on the run was something that was something that obviously stood out that he struggled with last year. Like, did he improve on that? Like in training camp, was that anything better? Or maybe just not enough sample. I was trying to remember the answer to the question, but I just don't remember.
You can't really. It's hard to judge reads and stuff in training camp when you can't like pause the screen, see where guys look, and see what's open and everything. I think the one thing he did struggle with last year was just kind of reading the field, making fast decisions, getting the ball out when someone was open. I mean, there was a lot of that going on. So I mean that's kind of the big thing that you want to see growth from. I thought in the his first start in the preseason, it was early reads every time, but I thought he did a really good job in that game of getting the ball out, making quick decisions. And, I know a lot of people want to act like it wasn't a close battle, but that game and that first preseason game was pretty good for him. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. And I think he made it interesting for a little bit just with how he played. And I thought that game was good, man. The second one obviously wasn't anywhere near that first one, but when things are right, he can execute it. And when things got messy, especially last year, I think that's where you saw the issue. So he just needs to find a way to survive in that messiness. And as we've talked about this a million times, the weirdest thing about him is that he isn't someone that thrives in that
broken down structure of a play.
Yeah, and that should be
strength.
Taysom time. That he has all the tools. He has all the tools to succeed in those atmospheres, and he hasn't yet. So I mean, I think that's the big thing that he needs to change. And then while we're here, we got close to 100 people watching this right now. I'm guessing a few of you aren't signed up to NewOrleans.Football. Go sign up for the site. We need the support. Multiple podcasts per week. If you're just a podcast listener, you get 2 bonus podcasts a week. If you like to read things, there's all kinds of analysis. We just hired a former scout for the New York Giants to do some work for us. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Promise the value's there. And if you just want to help us out, just sign up, man.
That's absolutely true. And if you like Mike Triplett, he shows up every once in a while and takes my place. so you never know when you're going to get 2 experts instead of one and some random guy with a New Orleans.Football hat. So, I mean, it just keeps getting better. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Sign up for the damn site already. All right, man. So I like you just invented Taysom time. So I feel like if something happens in this game and the chips are down and then Taysom, somehow this cape just magically appears on his back and he leads them back to victory, we're definitely talking about Taysom time going forward. So I'm here for it. Taysom, make it happen, man. I know you're listening. So this game coming up, who's available? I just waxed poetically about all the injuries that they had. So who's going to play, right? I mean, I know that today was the final practice report for the week. Right? No,
it's tomorrow.
No, it's tomorrow.
It's the Thursday game, but today was their last practice. But it's just kind of like a weird setup for a Thursday game because they played last Thursday. So today was their Friday, but the injury report is on a Thursday schedule and the actual day of the week is Tuesday. So I hope everybody's following us and understands what I'm talking about. It makes sense to me. But yeah, they're a day ahead of the injury report right now.
I got it. But typically you would get the final report on a Friday, but today this game you're going to get it the day before the game instead of 2 days before the game.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that's what threw me off. Even mortals can, some of us mortal, we don't, this doesn't manifest in our brains as quickly as yours.
But as far as guys that are definitely available, Mark Ingram, Taysom Hill, Paulson Adebo,
check.
They should all be back out there. Ramczyk went from limited to DMP, so that's not good. Don't expect Davenport or Passanio to play. So Granderson back in a significant role, and I thought he did pretty good last week. The thing that gets a little bit difficult this week is that they're kind of a running team, and he's not the greatest run defender historically, and he can over pursue. So I think that's going to be a big thing for the defensive line, the front.
That's one thing. That's one thing about the run defense that's I was the past few weeks. I'm like, man, they're missing some of those guys up front. That the last couple of games, you see all these leaky yards. I'm like, this is where 92. This is where you miss 92. Yeah, stuff like that. But go ahead.
Caden Ellis doesn't look like he's going to play. So if they go to base more, well, I think
as a Sam.
I think it might be Werner. I think they might find a way to get Werner in there. Instead of in the base package, it's been Werner and Ellis quite a bit, but it might be Quan and Werner now in some setup.
That's a run stopping package, though. I don't want Quan in there.
Yeah,
can we just get Bond and Werner in there on the rundowns, please?
Anyway. And then Alvin, I think it's probably that's 30-70. He doesn't play.
Ooh, big yup.
Yeah.
Big yup.
I think there's just kind of probably an advantage of maybe going 10 days between games and getting them out there.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but you don't want to.
I'm guessing though, man. He practiced every day this week, so I might be wrong, but it just kind of seems and he was participating when we were out there, so I could very easily just I'm just kind of guessing at it, and that just kind of feels like where it's probably headed.
Yeah. I mean, if he's healthy, then I think he should play. But if there's any chance of just it's something lingering, this ain't the year for that.
Yeah.
This ain't the year for that. And I don't think they're tanking. I know I see some in chat saying tank time. I definitely don't think that's the case. I think it'd be hard to tank on a team with Mario Davis and Cam Jordan. These guys are vets, but hey, I'm not in the NFL locker room, so you know, who knows? But yeah,
Hey,
and then
if anybody listening to this knows my phone number, can you dial it? Because I'm desperately looking for my phone right now and I cannot find it.
I got you, bruh. I
All
got you.
right.
I'm gonna do this pod. I'm gonna talk about the next topic while I'm dialing your number. In fact, I might show everyone your. No, never mind.
Nah, don't do that.
I'm like, I want to raise, man. I'll put this phone up to the screen. Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. So on the defensive side of the ball, so I haven't heard anything about Turner. I mean, Garner Johnson went on IR. He went on 3-week IR, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he had the foot thing. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm just wondering, like Davenport, his shoulder. I don't know. I mean, he didn't go on IR, but I know with McCoy, something similar happened, and he didn't go on IR, but he was out for an extended period of time. So I'm just wondering. There you go. We back.
My guy, Bob
Oh,
got me. Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, you probably
Kevin let
saw
me down. Bob got me though.
saw me calling and he canceled, and then saw Bob, and then showed it to everybody because Bob is your favorite.
Bob is my favorite.
He is your favorite. Yeah. I
absolutely.
understand it. If I was you and I knew me and Bob, I would choose me over Bob.
Sometimes cuts got to be made.
Cuts got to be made. Yeah, that's what.
Even Tommy Lee got let go at one point, man. So
yeah. Are you texting Trip? Cuts got to be made. Then you look down. This ain't right, bro. This ain't right. But yeah. So do you see at any point do you think like did they come back like close to full strength? Right. I mean, other than the the Jameis loss is permanent. But I'm thinking I don't think anybody else that I can think of is out for the year, right? Just these seem to be like maybe I won't say short-term injuries, but with a chance for some of these guys to return. So is that something that maybe happens later down the road, or is it just like some of these guys are out for the year and they got to manage the roster cap or something, so they're not putting them on IR?
yeah, I mean, I think maybe there's a sense of getting right for the stretch or whatever, and then everybody kind of comes back. I think this 10-day window kind of helps with some of those injuries too. We'll see where a lot of them are at.
That's true.
Troutman's probably pushing towards end of the year. Like I think he's on the cusp. I think you probably should get Gardner Johnson back at some point, even if that's like was an operation on the foot. Like that's probably not.
Yeah, he might be out for a little bit. How many weeks is this his third week or is this his fourth week out?
Oh man, 3 or 4. I mean, it's
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. They should get some guys back though. I think for the stretch and get fully healthy. As far as what's possible within the realm. I don't think Davenport and if anybody went on IR from that injured list would be tomorrow. Would probably be when those would happen. But they didn't do it last week, so some of the guys that missed last week, unless someone like Ramczyk who came back and then goes to DMP, if something it happened to cause that. I don't think Armstead is going anywhere. He's been out there at practice at least, and then when they kind of go into their situational jogging, the position drills,
stuff,
jogging, stretching, and that he takes off. But when they're going through the walkthrough before practice, he's out there watching at least. So I mean, at least he's keeping an eye on things. So that maybe that's a chance of still playing despite not being participating in practice. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think I don't think a lot of these that they're dealing with right now are season-ending type things.
Okay. Yeah. It's just, man, the list is long. Like the rookie. I mean, Peyton Turner got hurt and it's just like flew up under the radar. Like your first round pick is nowhere to be found, and like I don't know. It's just like it's so many injuries that like you just kind of you can't pay attention to them all, right? And that kind of seems to be the case with some of these guys. So all right, final question I got for you. Like a very common question I ask you on these pods. Expectations for the rest of the year. What do you think? What do you think of this team? I know. It has no choice but to change because circumstance. Unless you're one of those people who don't think talent matters in the NFL, which we've established that you are not one of those people earlier in the pod. But yeah, what's the outlook? What's the expectations?
I keep calling every game for them a must-win game, and then the other teams in the NFC are so trash that it's just,
They're still in the playoff hunt.
Like no one's like running away with it.
Yeah.
What are they? 5-6, and I think the
it's
seventh.
Like 3 teams 5-6 or something.
Yeah,
like,
so the 2 or 3 teams ahead of them are the same record. So
Atlanta and some other,
yeah, Washington, I think
the Vikings, maybe
Vikings,
one of them.
yeah. So and then San Francisco 6-5. So I mean, like they're still very much in the thick of it, and they could probably lose this game and still have a theoretical chance of getting into the playoffs. If at that point, then I think you probably got to win out to get there. Well, maybe not even. You could probably drop
depending on what these
one.
other teams do. I mean, it's not like Atlanta's the model of consistency. Same
like
for the Vikings.
9-8 might get it done. So I mean, it's not a must-win game. It kind of feels like it is, and I want to call it one. In a sense, it is, but it isn't because of the way everybody else is playing. But I think it's a must-win game in the sense that you got to take fate out of everybody else's hands, and at some point maintain control of your situation and take off with it, and start handling your business and end the skid. They're a COVID
4 games. Come on,
it's a
man.
COVID game for them. They got coaches out, they got players out for various reasons. If
they got guys coming back, Cooper coming back, DeMarcus Lawrence coming back.
Maybe. I mean, Cooper's up in the air, like as far as him playing.
Well, yeah,
as
his
of today.
thing, I guess Derek Jerry was saying, but yeah, you got a good point. Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, you're catching them in a bad place. I think it's still a tough game, but circumstances have at least kind of evened out to a point where maybe you can steal one back, and they got to do it. At some point, they got to do it. They got to start getting on a run. I don't know if they're playoffs or not, man. Honestly, it's.
I mean, I can give you my answer.
I think there's a chance they can pull it off. I think there's a chance they can pull it off. Still, I'm not ready to put that. I'm not ready to put that to bed. I know a lot of people kind of felt like last week was a sense of finality or something, but I just don't buy that. That wasn't the team getting buried. That was the backups getting buried. I think you got to see some guys back on the field and see if they can do something. It's tough. I think a lot of the realities of the post-Breeze era have manifested in a way that I don't think would have necessarily manifested if quarterback didn't get hurt and everybody else didn't get hurt.
Absolutely.
But the downswing has hit you in a weird way, and you're kind of feeling the weight of like the transition. But they were running ahead of it for a while. They were ahead of the curve, and no, they aren't. But I'm not ready to bury them. I need to see. It's kind of like the Freddy Krueger at the end. You kind of you think you pulled him out of the dream and you killed him, and then you're in the car and all of a sudden he's popping back in. Yeah. So until you see something, I need to see something more. I need to see the shot to the head, and I haven't seen that yet. I see a couple body shots, but they could still get up.
All right. Is that a Rocky reference? No.
It could be punches. It could be.
I was trying to keep it like not that violent. I was like, let me switch.
I was in the horror movie bag. Man. So I wasn't talking about Rocky, but sure.
Yeah. You was on the wire. I was trying to go back to boxing. I'm like, I don't think any lawyers in here. Yeah, no, I'm with. That's fair. I understand the answer. I guess. It's hard to really.
Hold on, before you finish that, we're about to sign off here. I'm sending out hoodies tomorrow to the people that won the other ones. You sign up for the show before this podcast goes off live on YouTube. I'll throw you in the bag, send you a hoodie out tomorrow. So you probably got like 4 minutes to sign up. So someone do that.
Where my hoodie at, Nick?
It's going out tomorrow.
All right. Well, I thought I was going to get the early hoodie. I thought I was like pre-hoodie. Like I'm just with everybody else.
There's one shipment, man. There was one shipment.
Did you see him on the trip?
No, Trip didn't get a hoodie.
All right, whatever.
Bob got one.
Oh, I know Bob got one. Bob probably, I know Bob got one. Bob probably got one before me. It was like the wife Bob, you, then me, then well, I'm with everybody else, so I'm nobody special. So you guys be asking me all these questions like I know something extra. You guys can see now that I am along with the rest of you. I learned about what's going on with the Saints from NewOrleans.Football, just like the rest of you guys. So, so the good news about that is that you guys can be me and sign up, right? You can be average, sign up, get the football news, and everything is going to be good, right? You can get you a nice one of these shirts, hats. You guys are willing to. I got an extra hat in there if somebody wants to, be a little generous. Don't tell Nick, but in all seriousness, you guys sign up because we appreciate the support. This is the only way we can, keep adding things to the site. I mean, you guys see the videos that Nick is posting on Twitter.
Well, I can't. Hold on. We got a question here. I can answer this easy.
Uh-oh.
Are we going to get a Trey Hendrickson retrospective at some point? Here's the retrospective. I was wrong.
Oh, hello.
I think everybody was wrong. Everybody was wrong. He's way better than
I told you they should
anybody.
have kept Trigger Trey. I don't know what you talking about, bro.
Oh, come on, man. Nobody thought they were. Yeah, I don't think anybody.
I mean, just he's on the field.
No one saw that coming. Man, the way they talked about him, nobody saw that coming. He's significantly better than
even the team, even the coaches. Yeah,
you know who wasn't wrong? The Bengals. They saw it, they paid them, and they were right. I mean, it was
shout out
to
the Bengals. Yeah, shout out. You win some, you lose some. I mean, you're right about DeMario, you're wrong about Trigger Trey. So you can't win them all. They usually don't let talent out the building, but even still, like I don't know, the cap, just where they were. I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's water under the bridge at this point. But yeah, I mean, we don't need to go back and rehash every take that we've ever made on here because, I think it'd be more right than wrong. So, like I said, you get some right, you get some wrong. So, all right, guys, I'm trying to kill time so someone can sign up and, get your name called out. And
we'll check the email there. We'll see who's in there.
Yeah, y'all come on in. So, but yeah, man, sign up. Help us out. You guys, you see everything that's being added to the site. I mean, the content is coming in different. We've had a couple of extra writers on the site. We got a scout that's writing for the site now who's going to give a different type of insight. So it's a moving target here, right? Once we hit a mark, we're shooting for the next level, right? And that'll never stop. It's always another level to reach, and it's always gonna be us, trying to reach that level. So any support that you guys give, it makes us trying to get better that much easier. So to the people that do support us, thank you, and thank you again. To the people that's thinking about supporting us, come on to the dark side. And the people who are not supporting us, I would just say start to consider it.
All right. So last thing, and then we're going.
All right, go ahead. I'm not doing that again, by the way. That's my second time. I'm not doing that.
How do you feel? Like, what's your confidence level in Taysom?
Oh man, it is probably lower than Jameis, higher than Simeon for starters. I not that high. Not that high. Why? Because last time I saw him, he was a traditional looking quarterback, right? I don't think he's reinvented himself since the training camp or last year. Maybe he has. I just haven't had the opportunity to see him. I've only seen him in a couple of preseason games, and personally, I didn't think he had a good preseason as a quarterback. I thought he had a few turnover-worthy plays. I thought that, he didn't get rid of the ball like I would like to see. So but preseason, again, that stuff is not scripted neither, so you're not running plays for him. And maybe the type of competition suited Jameis is better because he's a better natural passer than Taysom. So my confidence isn't high on him because I think his best ability, which is his athleticism and his physicality, I don't think he leverages those as a quarterback when I think he should. I don't think he knows when to run. I think he's a pretty accurate guy. When it's there, he can definitely hit the open receiver. I give him that. But I don't think he gets the ball out, like we were saying early after the first couple of reads. I don't think he knows when to run. I think he has a fumbling problem that I'm not sure has been fixed. When was the last time he's been hit consistently as a quarterback? So I can't really say that I hate to just be so negative, but I can't say that I have a high level of confidence in him as a quarterback just based on what I've seen last year and what I've seen in the preseason, because that's the only evidence I've been, subjective to. So I don't have high expectations. I do have higher expectations than what the offense has been thus far. I expect him to give them a little bit of a boost, but how much? I don't think it's much, but I'm really hoping that I'm wrong there.
I don't know where I'm at on it. Honestly, I'm conflicted because I think he's going to be able to lead them to a couple wins. It
Okay.
feels. I feel like they still got a shot. I think he's going to give him a little bit of life. But the big question is the foot, and does it limit him at all in the running game? And I don't know that we will know the answer to that. I mean, it's a little bit dicey. The rest of the team's banged up. Alvin's,
Yep.
possibly not playing in this game. So I think this first one's going to be tough on him, but I kind of feel like he's going to give him a shot of life. And I don't know if that's a high confidence level, low confidence level. I just think within the structure of this team that he's going to find a way to win a couple games. And I'm more confident in him than I was in Simeon. But look, I mean, I'm not going to like sit here and lie. Like Simeon kind of gave me a false sense about what he was going to be able to do too after the Tampa game. And then you see the comeback in the fourth quarter and the next week, and you're like, you know what? He wasn't that bad. And then you see the comeback the next week and you're like, well, this is kind of starting to get a little bit weird. And then by the next exposure, it's just like, all right, like, is this guy for real? Like what's the deal here? Can he get it done or not? But I think he's going to be able to win some of the games that.
Well, look, they got Cowboys in New Orleans. They got at the Jets, at the Bucks, Miami in New Orleans, Carolina in New Orleans, Falcons at Atlanta. So I mean, theoretically, there's a path to finishing the season 4-2.
Yeah.
Right. The Cowboys and Bucks, you call those losses. Then you got the other 4 teams, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Saints. I mean, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Panthers, and the Falcons. And obviously based on what's been happening this season, those are not guaranteed wins, but those are winnable games. And so, I think if he wants to be a NFL quarterback, I think winning these winnable games is the first step there, right? Your offense is not really loaded. You don't have a lot of weapons, but you got beatable teams, and none of these teams have really good defenses that scare you at this point. So you have an opportunity here, and I think it's his chance to make the most out of it. But my confidence level, I would probably say it wouldn't super surprise me if Ian Book started a game this year.
I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be super surprised because Simeon, we know what he's going to give you. Just get a guy some reps. I don't know. Maybe Book, they don't want to put him out there and like ruin him, or I guess the mystique is still there. But I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised on nothing this season. I guess if someone had told me Trevor Simeon would have started 4 games, I would have been like, what? Where's Taysom and Jameis? Is both of them going IR? So at this point, I can't say anything about this season would surprise me. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to Tyler. Hoodie's gone. We can end the show.
There we go. Guys, thank you guys for showing up. Chat, we love you guys for showing up. We appreciate it. You guys make this thing fun. When you guys see my eyes go this way, that means I'm reading some of the crazy stuff y'all writing. And yeah, we always appreciate you guys that show up here. We got some guys that just show up every time, Bob, Vicks, etc., Ocho. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting us. We appreciate it. Go to NewOrleans.Football/subscribe and pick the tier that works best for you. You guys be safe. With that said, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. We out.